Good evening. All of my information is coming from Leadership by Northouse, 2018, Chapter 16. Since World War II, the study of globalization has been around, and now researchers are beginning to look at how leadership is different throughout the world. One thing that they're looking at is how culture impacts leadership. Up until recently, most of the research was based on Western civilization leadership, but they have found when they look at culture and leadership that they have more to explore, that there are different leadership styles throughout the world. Alder and Bartholomew define 5 cross-cultural competencies that global leaders need in order to be successful. The first is understanding the business, political, cultural environments across the globe. Second, they need to learn perspective, tastes, trends, and even technologies that different cultures use and what they feel are important. Third, they need to work with people from many cultures. Fourth, they need to be able to adapt to living and communicating with people in these cultures. And 5, they need to start relating to people from other cultures from a position of equality, not thinking that their culture is superior to others. I believe leaders need to excel in not only communication, but the ability to adapt, have an eagerness to learn, and empathy. From my experience working for a global company, when we started that partnership, our leaders had to show empathy. We had to realize that it wasn't just us being impacted by this change. It was a change across both organizations. We had to empathize with them coming to the U.S. and learning and participating in our world. And we also had to go to India and learn how they work in their world. We also had to think about our communication style and make adjustments to make sure that when we were communicating, whether it was verbally in a meeting or in most of our situations, we did a lot of emailing. You have to make sure that your communication the communication that you use can band all cultures so that there's a fluid understanding. The desire to learn allows you to be more open to understanding the cultural differences and also expanding your knowledge of their cultures. I feel like if you have that eagerness to learn, you're going to take this as an opportunity to grow yourself and others. Culture is defined as learned beliefs, values, rules, traditions that are common to a group of people. Multicultural is an approach that takes more than one culture into account. Diversity, on the other hand, refers to the existence of different cultures or activities within a group or organization. Diversity, in my mind, is a fact. I work for a company that has a diverse population. We have people from several different backgrounds who have lived all over the world. Multicultural is really creating a new culture based off more than one existing culture. The other topic I wanted to talk about tonight was ethocentrism, which is the tendency for an individual to place their own culture at the center of their observations of others and the world. The perception is that one's own culture is better than somebody else's. An example of ethocentrism, I cannot say that word, would be within my family. In my family, it was a sign of maturity was that you would move out and you live independently on your own. Whereas in other cultures, many believe that living with your family and taking care of your elders is a sign of maturity. Another example of ethocentrism is European culture versus American culture. From a European standpoint, they have placed a high value on work-life balance. Whereas in America, it is our belief that you have to work hard to be the best or first. We have, over the last couple of decades, just started taking on a similar mindset of the Europeans where we're trying to create a work-life balance. However, I think for a long time America thought in order to be the best we had to work more and do more than anybody else. Prejudice, can't say that word tonight either. Prejudice is a fixed belief that is held by an individual or a group based off unsubstantiated data. An example of prejudice in my life would be in the workplace in particular is millennial work ethic versus the baby boomers' work ethic. Many boomers believe that in order to be, to have a good, strong work ethic, you come to work at a set time in the morning and you leave at a certain time at night. Millennials have a different mindset, whereas they think as long as I'm getting my job done, it doesn't matter when I come into the office or when I leave. I'm always available and I do what I need to get done. That is something that I think several organizations are working through and helping to create a more balanced approach as more millennials come into the workforce.